Welcome to a CNBC TV18 special. At a time when the overall passenger vehicle industry seemed to be degrowing, with many manufacturers in fact being forced to cut production, one of the companies that is sitting pretty, thanks to the fact that 2012 is being pegged by many as the SUV year, is Mahindra & Mahindra. And today I'm joined by none other than Dr. Pawan Goenka, President of M&M. Thanks so much for speaking with us, and there's so much to talk about every time we meet, sir.
Pleasure to be here.
Big announcement as well coming in, your acquisition of the remaining stake of Navistar. Dr. Goenka, it comes in at a time when the overall sentiments in the commercial vehicles sector does not seem to be very good. We've been seeing the SIAM data also. So help us, talk us through the rationale behind making an acquisition, especially at a time like this.
Well, first of all, such decisions are never made based on what's happening today. These are always based on how do we see the industry going forward. It's a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year bet that we're taking, not a 6-month bet that we're taking. We have full confidence that even though the commercial vehicle industry is down right now, it's going to come back, because it has to come back. There are no two ways about it. But it will happen in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, that I don't know, but it will come back.
Right.
And therefore, for Mahindra to not put full focus on commercial vehicle was never an option. We are here for the long run, and we will continue to be here for the long run. Now the question is, why did we acquire Navistar stake? And that has more to do with current situation that Navistar is facing, where they have decided to rationalize their various investments, prioritize the investments that they have, and they decided that for them this is not the right time to continue to support this JV, because it is making losing money right now, and therefore they thought it's best if they opted out and Mahindra continued on this business on their own.
Right.
Having said that, they are fully supportive of the business. Everything that we need to do to continue the business as if nothing has happened, that
Right.
full support is guaranteed from Navistar.
It was 2005 when the joint venture was formed, so as you said that the company is yet to break even. Now with the fact that it has become a 100% subsidiary of M&M, what is the road plans are going forward? When do you hope that the company would turn around, would break even? If you can just throw us some light on that.
Well, let me just say the latter part of when it will break even. That depends a lot on how the industry behaves in the next year. We were hoping that the fourth quarter of this financial year would be a better year for the commercial vehicle industry, but right now it doesn't look so. It looks like that even fourth quarter will be struggle. We do need to sell, I would say, of the order of 700-800 trucks a month to break even. We are far from it right now. It can quickly happen if the industry turns around, because our products are liked reasonably well by the customers, so I don't see why we cannot sell 700-800 trucks. But in the current state of industry, it's difficult. So rather than saying when do we break even, I would like to say when we're able to sell 700-800 trucks a month is when we'll break even. Now, the road plan moving forward, there's not much of a difference between what was the situation yesterday and what will be tomorrow. Joint venture that we had, M&L, is a totally independent company. Its own dealership, its own technology, its own R&D, its own sales force, and therefore that will continue. The only thing that has changed is instead of having two sort of parents or two owners, it now has one owner.
Right.
And to that extent, no significant change will happen. Of course, Mahindra management would be somewhat different than a joint management by two companies, but it's not better or worse, it's just slightly different.
So by when do we see the board being composed solely of Mahindra officials?
That will happen very soon. We have just declared today our intent to make the change. It will probably be, I would say, 1.5 to 2 months before the change actually happens. So when we complete all the paperwork, get all the approvals and so on and so forth. And as soon as the change happens, as soon as we give the money, immediately the board will get reconstituted to a 100% Mahindra board without any charge.
Right. So now, because it was also a case of Navistar wanting to move out, as you said, they wanted to focus more on their core companies. So in that sense, will you now be in a position to infuse more capital into this now 100% subsidiary company of yours?
Absolutely. We have to, because as I said, right now the company is losing money, and therefore we have to support the company for, I don't know, a year, 2 years before it starts producing cash. Until that point, Mahindra is fully committed to make the investment that is necessary to fund the losses, as well as to fund the capex to go from here to where we want to be 2 years from now.
Can you give us an indication, Dr. Goenka, how much would you be investing in the short run into the company now?
That's very hard to calculate right now, because it depends to a large extent on the losses that the company would have, which I obviously wouldn't want to talk about. But in terms of new capex, we probably will invest 200 to 300 crores over the next 3 years, which is to bring out the different variants of the current truck, also to develop the BS4 version, which we don't have right now, and some other engine options that we are working on with Navistar to bring into this truck.
How challenging is it now for you personally, sir? Because, you're looking into so many businesses. SsangYong is yet to break even. You've got another now baby, that you will have to nurture practically afresh. You've got Mahindra Reva also. So there are companies that are yet to break even. So what seems to be the strategy going forward? You would just hold on to them and you would see how the situation evolves, or will you perhaps even look at maybe exiting? There were talks that there were at least indications, rumors that you might increase your stake in Mahindra Reva going forward. What will you do with these companies which are yet to break even? What will be the strategy now?
Well, each of these companies have a certain strategic place in our portfolio of automotive offerings. The Mahindra Group, we always invest for future, while we have a core giving us the strength to invest in the future. So one thought could be, okay, you're making a lot of money in automotive division and tractor, just sit on the cash and do nothing with it. Other thing will be that, okay, we have the opportunity right now to invest in some new opportunities. Let's invest in them. We will lose money, of course, in the initial years, but these are the ones that will give us the growth in the future. So today we have, you named 3, I will add one more, construction equipment. So we have at least 4 initiatives which have mobility related connotations, the truck, the electric vehicle, the SsangYong and the construction equipment, where we are in fact losing money. But all of this is in a context of where we will be 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. Right. So if you look at SsangYong, for example, it's a $3 billion company today. A $3 billion company, if it was to make at some point of time, just theoretically speaking, let's say 5% profit, that's more than sufficient to pay for any investment that we have made.
Are you hoping what JLR has done for Tata Motors, SsangYong will do?
I wouldn't want to compare. I wouldn't want to compare, but certainly when we have made an investment of that magnitude, we have made the investment with a view that that investment will pay us back directly in terms of tangible return that we get from that investment, and intangible return that we get in terms of the synergy between Mahindra and SsangYong. So the latter part has already started.
Right.
Latter part has already started by the various things that we have talked about in the past on what's happening because of synergy between SsangYong and Mahindra. Coming to truck, the truck industry traditionally has been a very high profit industry. It's only in the last couple of years that it's become somewhat constrained because of two reasons. The industry has slowed down, and there are many new players that have come in. I believe that the 6 or 7 players that have come in, there's no way all of them can be successful.
Right.
Okay? And I'm sure that each one of the 6, 7 players think that they are going to be one of the ones who will be successful. We sure think so. And we think that once we reach that break-even point...
there is no space. I mean, the commercial vehicle industry cannot absorb so many new players entering.
I don't
like
think
in
so.
the case of car industry.
I don't think so, because it's a situation where there are 2 very strong players, and those 2 strong players will not just sit there and watch others come in and kind of just take away market share. So only the fittest will survive. You will have to have the product, you'll have to have the infrastructure to sell and service the product, you'll have to have the brand, you'll have to have the confidence of the customer. Each of these things none of these things are easy to get.
Right.
And in fact, many are realizing now that they are much harder than they thought. So only few will succeed out of the new players, and we hope that will be one of those.
It's interesting because Mr. Tata in his annual general meeting address had said that how Tata is facing competition from some of the newer players, and he also had mentioned Navistar in the process. Coming to the core automotive business, it's been a remarkable year for Mahindra. Okay, 2012, many believe, was the SUV year, and you launched XUV late last year, so you got a large chunk of the sales from XUV this year. The Quanto happened, you've launched the new Verito. If in January someone were to tell you that you will end 2012 like this, would you have taken it? Did you expect, let's start with that?
We certainly expected good growth this year. We expect good growth because of the launch of XUV, because of the launch of Quanto that was planned. But we didn't expect this kind of growth of the UV segment. So in terms of our volume growth, it is not way beyond our expectation. In terms of UV segment growth, it is way beyond our expectation. And the new products that have come into the segment, which have done extremely well and have driven the growth of the UV segment. The diesel pricing, which has also contributed to the growth of the UV segment. As a result of that, the UV segment is growing at 55%, and that is somewhat unexpected for us. But given the 2 products that we had, our growth we were assuming will happen. So we are not surprised by the volume of XUV, we are not surprised by the volume of Quanto.
But so there's also, when people talk about Mahindra, many analysts also say that there is, however, risk involved. There's a dagger hanging with respect to what the government will do with respect to diesel. Okay, and of course, your exposure is in diesel. So earlier there was that many felt that diesel vehicles do not deserve the kind of subsidy that is meant for commercial vehicles. So let's impose a tax. Now people are talking about a pollution. Diesel vehicles are more polluting. So in that sense, many feel that it's not if but when the government will act upon it, because there's a strong anti-diesel lobby that is at work.
Well, see, it's a strong anti-diesel lobby, rather than a strong, I would say a vocal anti-diesel lobby. And if you really look at people who are lobbying against the diesel vehicles, it always comes back to the same set of people who are lobbying against diesel vehicle. I wouldn't want to name. The same set of people who come back and lobbying against diesel vehicle, and they have used different reasons why diesel should be made unaffordable at different times, depending on what happens to be the flavor of that month.
Right.
So at some point of time, they should talk about diesel is dirty. Very soon that argument became non-explainable. There is no way you could claim diesel is dirty. So then they went on to diesel subsidy. And then again it became very clear that diesel should be subsidized, or I shouldn't say diesel should be subsidized, but there is no justification for slowing down the growth of diesel, given that it is a CO2 friendly fuel, given that it has the benefits of many other things, except for the PM and NOx that people talk about. They were comparing the BS2 kind of vehicles and saying diesel is dirty, and not looking at BS4 vehicles, which are 80-90% cleaner in terms of PM than compared to BS2 vehicle. So basically, if you come back to it and look at the argument in a very rational manner, in my opinion, it's very difficult to justify that a tax should be imposed on diesel vehicles. I'm all for, again repeating, to increase the diesel fuel prices and bring it not on par, but say 20-25% difference in petrol prices.
Right.
The 5 rupee increase that happened some time ago, I was fully supportive of that. I'm again supportive 5 more rupees happen. I think another 5 to 7 rupee will be about the right price for diesel petrol parity, and after that both should go up or go down together whenever there is a change in crude oil prices. So I think we're making a mountain out of the molehill.
But sir, the fact is, I mean, it might be a molehill right now, but as a company, so you have to take cognizance of whatever's happening. The lobby might be very vocal, surely. What are you doing about it? Can you give us some plans about your petrol plans? How are you de-risking your business model?
You see, right now in India, to have a petrol SUV will take us nowhere. There are no takers for petrol SUV.
Ford is in fact coming out with an EcoSport that will have a petrol SUV.
That will have a petrol, yes, true. But if you look at the growth of SUVs today, it's purely driven by diesel vehicles. So we'll have to see how a petrol SUV compares. Like, the only SUV today that is petrol, I think, there are no petrol SUV in the normal price range.
Yeah.
There are some in the high end, but there are none in the normal price range. But we do export petrol SUVs.
Right.
Okay. So therefore, if there is a situation where the diesel SUV becomes unaffordable, we can always launch the petrol SUV, not next day, but within 6 to 9 months of something like this.
But that means you would be ready. I mean,
we are ready, because we are exporting today. We are exporting petrol Scorpio. We are currently working on a petrol XUV, not ready yet, but will be ready in some time, again for export right now. So for export, we do gasoline SUVs, and that we can launch in India also, though we do not think that that's the right product for India, because in India the SUVs are driven very heavily, and for that kind of very heavy driving, diesel is the right power plant and not petrol.
Right, right. So many felt that Mahindra was an anti-small car company. You said that you will only look at SUVs, and Verito, you'll come out with a sub-4 meter Verito, but we have no plans of whatsoever, entering the car or sort of typical passenger car category apart from the Verito. That was about a year ago. Has anything changed since then?
Nothing has changed.
So it's still, you would still like, your focus will still be on SUV?
Focus will still be on SUV, though with every new product launch that we do in SUV, we keep expanding the range of SUV on both sides. Clearly there is no more room to come in the middle of the range, because we have so many products covering each range from Quanto to Bolero to Xylo to Scorpio to XUV and now Rexton. So when we launch new products, either it has to replace one of these products or it has to go outside this range.
Right, right. Because so that means there is no truth, and there were still rumors doing the rounds that how Mahindra might come out with a small car, but So you are denying
Absolutely.
all of that. Well, on that note, let's slip into a quick break. On the other side, we'll ask Dr. Goenka whether the bid for Aston Martin was a media creation or was it something that the company was seriously considering. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the special. In conversation with me is Dr. Pawan Goenka. Just a couple of last things, Dr. Goenka. Recently when you showed interest in Aston Martin, a very interesting facet came out. So far, when you would even show interest in another manufacturer, there would be some logical correlation. In case of JLR, primarily SUV, you have ambitions to become a global SUV player. SsangYong, of course, clearly fitted in. In case of Aston Martin, it was a completely different story. There did not seem any such correlation. So are we given to understand that the company is open to making acquisitions within the automobile space in inorganic areas? Is that something?
So let me say you said three things on your question. Number one, we have never said that we have bid for Aston Martin. It was speculated that we have bid. It was speculated that we have lost out. We have never said that we have bid or not bid. And when we have not said we have bid or not bid, I cannot talk about the justification for why we should have bid. Okay. Having said that, we are not. I will never say that we will never look at anything beyond SUVs or UVs. Okay. We have to be open. We have to see what are the opportunities ahead of us. Clearly, we want to be a more significant player in the global automotive arena. Whether that happens by us becoming deeper and deeper rooted in SUVs, whether that happens by us expanding beyond SUVs, that remains to be seen. That depends on opportunities that we have. Organically, our growth will be on SUV. Inorganically, if we get opportunities outside SUV, yes, we will take a look at it. Aston Martin by itself was never a volume play in any case. Even if we were interested, even if we got it, it's not a volume play. That's more of a brand play. And therefore, 4,000 vehicles, whether you sell it or you don't sell it, does not very significantly change the fortunes of the company from where we are. Mm-hmm. Having said that, now one more observation that I have made is that when the rumors first came out, speculation that we are bidding for Aston Martin, everybody started saying that we have gone crazy. Why are we looking at it? When the rumor came out that we are not getting Aston Martin, everybody said Mahindra lost out. So how could it be that we were going crazy, bidding for it and lost out?
Then, Dr. Goenka, that you never bid for Aston Martin. It was just a media creation.
I would never answer that question. I would never answer that question. All I'm saying is that when...
Well, of course, if you don't answer, obviously people will think you lost. I mean, eventually people will think you...
So if it was the wrong thing to do, then we couldn't have lost out. Then you should say we won.
No, but then what happened then? In that case, then, okay, fine. But at no point then did you seriously consider, as you said...
Look, let me put it this way, that today, any M&A deal that happens in automotive space, Mahindra is approached. Whether it is selling of a $100 million worth company or selling of a $5 billion worth company. There are people who will approach us, there are people who will say it's a good fit for us, and they will always take a look at any opportunity that comes. Whether it is Company A, Company B, Company C. Because we are in the game, because I just told you that we want to grow beyond what we are. We want to grow both organically and inorganically. Organic focus is in SUV. Inorganic could be anything that kind of makes sense in the portfolio. Therefore, anything that comes in the market, we will always consider it. Right. Whether we bid for it or not bid for it, I cannot say. Okay, that will depend on what is the analysis.
In case of Aston Martin proposal had come to you?
Will always come.
It will always
any company, not Aston Martin, any company that is up for sale. Mm-hmm. Somebody will approach us saying that, are you interested?
But you were never really serious about
that. I will never answer.
That you will never answer. Okay. So
I'll have to wait for my retirement when I write a memorial, and then I will talk about it.
It'll be worth reading that. But just one last point, sir, about acquisitions. So which are some of the countries, where you see opportunities coming up?
In terms of acquisitions?
In terms of acquisitions?
Well, it's not a question of country. Today, if you look at automotive companies, there are a lot of hands have changed over the last 4 or 5 years. Nobody knew, for example, that Aston Martin will be on sale, say, 12 months ago, right? Similarly, what will be on sale tomorrow, we don't know yet. Okay. Again, some proposals keep coming to us. Some are serious, some are not so serious. I cannot talk about what is a proposal in front of us, but we have
there are still proposals.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. There are some for outright purchase. There are some for investments in companies to take a small stake. At any given point of time, there are many proposals that are there. Some are proposals that are created by investment banker, even if they don't exist.
Okay.
So there is always
like
that kind
Aston
of
Martin.
always that kind of thing that's happening. And when time is right, we are in no hurry. We are not waiting for an M&A to happen. We are growing very well. We are investing a lot of money in our future expansion, and we are quite happy if no M&A happens. At the same time, if something comes up to us, we are willing to wait 10 years, 15 years for the right thing to happen. We are not going to jump into something just because it happens to be in front of us and it's glamorous or anything like that.
When we last met at the SIAM conference, you had told me the 3 or 4 states where you zeroed down for your new manufacturing plant. I think Andhra was one, Madhya Pradesh was one, and then there were Maharashtra also was another one. Any update on that, sir? Has Andhra been zeroed down upon?
No, I don't think I would have mentioned Andhra. I think the only thing I would have mentioned at that point in time that Maharashtra is one of the states that we are considering, and I would have probably named other states that we are considering. Not right for me to do so. Unfortunately, we are in the same situation today, and it's something that I've gone on record many times to say that the time has run out. In fact, today we had a meeting, a project team is screaming at me saying that when are you going to decide where to have the next plant? And unfortunately, we are still waiting for the final answer from some of the states.
Why the delay, sir? Why do you
delay is just the response that we need to get from some of the states to a proposal and some fine-tuning of what we need. And right now, I would say that we are down to 2 states,
okay.
Maharashtra and one more. I would hope that as early as tomorrow, if I can do it, I'll be able to announce. So basically, once we get the final proposal from these 2 states, that's what we're waiting for, then we'll be able to make a quick decision on which one we want.
Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with us. Thanks, Atan.
All right. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.